When observing Tesla Bot's walking posture, many can't help but joke that it looks like it just endured a grueling leg day workout. Others quip that Optimus walks like a human, albeit with the peculiar gait of a certain president. These comments, though amusing, also shed light on some important aspects. Elon's repeatedly emphasized that everything's still being improved, particularly the robot's walking speed. Tesla doesn't want their robots moving sluggishly, but they need time to get their ultimate goal, enabling the robot to move at a speed of up to 5 miles an hour. That said, comparing Optimus's progress from earlier this year to now, it's clear there have been improvements. However, in our view, these strides will fall short of being truly convincing. It seems Tesla might still need one final breakthrough to elevate Optimus's walking speed to a whole new level. Let's dive in and explore. Welcome to evtech channel. If you look at the gait of humanoid robots from Boston Dynamics' Atlas, Unitree, or Kepler Forerunner, you will see that they have a slightly bent knee gait, similar to Optimus. In fact, this design is not accidental, but due to engineering requirements. When robots are in a bent knee position, their center of gravity is lowered, which increases stability and makes it easier to balance when moving. As you can see, Optimus moved quite steadily at the We Robot event despite having to walk through a crowd in the evening conditions. The fact that the lower center of gravity allows the robot to quickly adjust its posture when faced with sudden changes in position or when moving on rough terrain. Now, if someone were to ask if Optimus is currently one of the slowest moving humanoid robots, we think it is possible. At just 1 meter per second or 2.2 miles an hour, Optimus is constantly being compared to Joe Biden. When we watched Optimus move, the Tesla robot took 132 steps in 78 seconds, averaging 1.67 steps a second with a stride length of slightly more than a foot. Compared to competitors that typically reach speeds of 2.5 meters a second, Optimus still has a significant performance gap. The slower movement speed could hurt its competitiveness, especially since most buyers, including us, prioritize a robot with agile movements. This reflects not only the efficiency of the joints and drivetrain, but also the coordination between the sensors and the battery. You can see that almost all robots today move like this, like this, like this, or like this, all of them sharing a gait that people often associate with President Biden's walking style. It's quite interesting, but we think most of us have kind of been deceived. Behind the posture of these robots, there are some secrets you might not know, and if you just look at them, we simply think that they're too slow to perform the tasks that we expect. So they're really slow in that particular posture. Optimus moves at a speed of about 1 meter a second or 2.2 miles an hour on flat terrain. It's important to note that that's not its final speed, as Tesla's goal is to hit 2.2 meters a second by the time Optimus goes on sale. During this period, Optimus's mobility along with its hands are the main focus of Tesla's upgrades. As you can see in the recent update on its ability to walk on uneven terrain, we believe that almost everyone laughed at Tesla Bot's drunk walk. We actually did too, but just for a moment. After that, we started noticing some cool stuff that Tesla hadn't yet revealed. We'll explain it all right now. Why doesn't the Optimus robot walk straight like a human? What makes it always in a bent knee stance like an elderly person to demonstrate that it is indeed slow? People have always been wondering about this, with many saying they don't want to waste money on such things. Some even think that instead of focusing on robots, Tesla needs to concentrate on EVs. And we understand that because we kind of thought the same way too. However, we've completely changed our perspective after following Optimus's development and the recent updates Tesla's released. Specifically, the video showing Optimus moving on a slippery, uneven slope. There are two things we need to focus on: Optimus's reflexes to the terrain and how it moves on that terrain. According to Tesla, this is the first time Optimus has been tested on terrain that even humans would be cautious about. The lead engineer of the Optimus project, Milan Kovac, mentioned that he nearly fell while moving on this slippery slope. So it's understandable that Optimus could fall, but what's truly remarkable is that it managed to climb and descend the slope without falling over. That's what we need to analyze here. If you pay attention to Optimus's gait when it moves on the flat factory floor, it's clear that its walking style is different compared to when on a sloped surface. As we see here, when moving on a flat surface, Optimus bends its legs compared to when it's navigating a sloped terrain. Its legs step more straight, although not completely straight like a person's. So why does Optimus need to bend its knees more when moving on a slope? Let's explain. On a flat surface, gravity acts even and stably, without horizontal or vertical forces that could cause imbalance. This allows Optimus not to lower its center of gravity too much. However, when climbing or descending a slope, gravity acts on the robot at an angle, creating a torque that pushes the robot either forward or backward. To counter this force, the robot needs to bend its knees more to lower its body's center of gravity, improving balance. This in turn allows Optimus to exert more force to prevent slipping or losing balance. This is why it looks more like it's walking like Biden in the latest video. Now, you may not know this, but in this video of climbing the slope, the Tesla bot is blind, meaning it can't see anything because the cameras aren't working. It chooses its movement strategy based purely on its sensors and AI brain. Elon wrote on X that Optimus is in a blindfold state. For the brain to function effectively and find the most precise posture for movement, the sensors of the bot need to be incredibly accurate in sensing the terrain and relaying the information to the software. What really impressed us was how fast Optimus's processing system works. It's almost unbelievable. According to Kovac's post on X, Optimus processes each iteration in about 2 to 3 milliseconds, which means it updates its state around 400 to 500 times a second. This allows it to react incredibly fast to unexpected situations. As we saw when Optimus slipped, it quickly responded by swinging its arm back to prepare for a fall, and it regained its balance almost instantly after the slip. Oh my goodness. Now imagine you slip. We think 100% of the time it'd be just like what we saw with Optimus. It's so human-like, it's almost unbelievable. Another thing we gotta give Tesla props for is how Optimus maintained its balance during the slip. This proves that both the hardware and software are optimized to work together in perfect harmony. No other competitor of Tesla can do this. That's the truth. We'll continue making more videos analyzing Optimus's movement capabilities. Back to Optimus movement speed. Okay, so let's talk about Optimus's walking ability. In Tesla's latest update, the robot was seen walking around the 4680 battery plant at the Gigafactory, Texas. Notably, Optimus now walks with greater confidence and can autonomously avoid obstacles and people without any human intervention. This is pretty impressive because it means Optimus can navigate factory environments independently and can potentially adapt to various other settings like indoors, busy streets, or even in crowded stores. This video also shows Optimus creating a video map of its surroundings. You can see here the objects that Optimus is recognizing, similar to how Tesla vehicles observe their surroundings and then handle situations that require interventions to avoid accidents, and this map can be stored and shared with other Optimus robots. This means that when an Optimus robot has explored and analyzed the terrain, the map in an area, the other robots also recognize that area and move very flexibly, collecting data that helps them become smarter without Tesla having to retrain each robot from scratch. So it's no longer a robot in a sci-fi movie like iRobot to achieve thousands of Optimus operating in the factory next year and another limited number sold to customers in the year after next. Tesla is really speeding up with its robot. In this phase, Tesla focuses on improving dexterity and new generation hands, the two most important factors before bringing it to customers. Why 22 degrees hands of freedom are actually Tesla's most valuable upgrade? The answer is quite simple. Humans can't do much if our hands aren't functional, and the same goes for Optimus. Who's trying to buy it if it can't pick stuff up? Since Optimus will spend most of its time performing tasks while stationary, hands, not legs, are the big game changer. Imagine a robotic hand that can glide over the keys of pianos with an absolute precision. According to Elon, this capability alone represents about half of Optimus's technology. During the third quarter earnings call, Elon explained,
and then with Optimus, we showed a massive improvement in Optimus's dexterity and movement on October 10th, and our next gen hand and forearm, which has 22 degrees of freedom, which is double the prior.
This is the first time Elon has talked about the third generation Optimus hand with 22 degrees of freedom. Back in May, he said on X, the new Optimus hand later this year will have 22 degrees of freedom. However, it wasn't until the end of the year that Tesla finally achieved what is now the world's most advanced robotic hands. No one else comes close. The other robot hands have less than 10 degrees of freedom. Wow. A fully articulated 5-fingered hand with 22 degrees of freedom is a pretty big deal, especially considering Tesla's lack of prior experience in robotics. Elon has called this a huge step forward for Optimus's dexterity. Before, the Optimus had 11 degrees of freedom, whereas the human hand has 27 degrees of freedom. Now, with 22 degrees of freedom, Optimus's hand is nearly on par with the human's, moving with impressive smoothness and flexibility. In the latest update video, you can see the robot lifting around 25-pound tray of 4680 batteries. What's really impressive is how Optimus grips the tray using just its fingertips, suggesting the grip strength in each finger is powerful enough to securely hold the tray, highlighting the redefined control and strength that Tesla has achieved with its robotic hand. Imagine doing this yourself. You'd feel the tension in your wrist, your shoulder, and your fingers if you hold something that weighs 11 kilos. That's no light task. This means the fingers must lock securely with a certain level of friction on Optimus's hand to hold the tray, as it looks fairly smooth. The force required to accomplish this is pretty remarkable, as it involves not just the finger strength, but also shoulder stability and precise torque control at the wrist. Tesla is clearly invested in heavily developing these capabilities, creating a hand that combines strength with finesse needed for complex handling tasks. Now, as far as we know, Optimus's hands have these tendon-like structures in their wrists. Optimus's fingers have 4 tendons each, rather than the coil springs in the knuckles of previous versions. These tendons connect from the muscles to the bones in the fingers, optimizing Optimus's gripping ability. Optimus now has a total of 22 small actuators, 20 for the fingers, and then you got 2 for the wrists. Elon also mentioned that Optimus has improved tactile sensing capabilities, meaning it can perceive objects more clearly when holding them, allowing it to determine how to grip and the appropriate force to apply. Now, before, Tesla demonstrated that Optimus's fingers have sensors to grasp delicate items, like eggs, without breaking them. However, at the time, it only had 11 degrees of freedom. With a new upgraded version, Optimus's hand continues to improve sensitivity, allowing it to lift more delicate items without damaging them, while also being able to handle both heavy and light objects. For example, it can not only hold eggs, but also peel them. On X, Elon suggested that Optimus could thread a needle and play piano with these hands. Now, imagine Optimus being asked to fetch something from the kitchen. It'll immediately remember the location where it saw it, but instead of going to get the object itself, it'll tell another Optimus that is closer to that location, and then the object will be brought as quickly as ever. One more thing we dare to affirm, this upgrade is a turning point for Tesla to almost double the number of gadgets for robots before bringing in thousands, even tens of thousands into the factory. As Musk once said, with the Gen 3, it can do more tasks, mainly due to a breakthrough hardware update.
I think we've got kind of like one major hardware revision, which should be done by end of this year.
Musk is pretty much putting a huge update on the Optimus robot by the end of this year, and that's where Gen 3 comes out. The hardware Musk is referring to could be a more powerful next-generation drivetrain that'll allow it to improve its maximum operating speed, like a wider range of motion in the legs, hips, and waist, and it would definitely be better if the speed of movement that's compared to that of a president. In the new generation launched later this year, we also do not feel surprised that Tesla will also upgrade the battery pack size for Gen 3. More notably, when it's completely possible to 4680 battery, because as we know, the initial battery pack capacities is only 2.3 kilowatt hours at the time of 2022 for the original Bumblebee prototype. It will not be okay if Tesla does not improve the 2 years of development, especially when we're here in 2024, a time that Tesla is extremely strong with that 4680 battery technology. With a 2.3 kilowatt hour battery pack, it can allow Tesla Bot to operate from 6 to 8 hours before needing a recharge. But, for example, if Tesla switches to the 3 kilowatt hour battery pack, 12 hours of work is not going to be too difficult for Optimus. The larger battery, although, can increase the weight of the robot, but it'll mainly affect the lower part, not making the legs too heavy when walking. Of course, there is a trade-off here. The battery's heavier, but the advantages of having a bigger battery pack are significantly more. After Elon confirmed that there will be a new version later today, plus mentioning a major hardware revision for the humanoid robot, a lot of talk from the masses say that Tesla will be working on the next hardware version, previously known as Hardware 5, but as Elon calls it, the AI 5. This emphasizes its artificial intelligence, or AI, capabilities, as we heard that Hardware 5 is going to be 10 times better than Hardware 4, which means that if Optimus Gen 3 gets it, it'll be hard to imagine how flexible and agile it'll be. Specifically, AI Computer 5 will achieve computational power of 700 to 800 watts, compared to around 300 watts for Hardware 3 and 4. However, Musk mentioned that it will be very energy efficient, especially because it's not going to run at full capacity all the time, which makes it more suitable for Optimus, considering everyone wants their robot to last longer, either standing still or sitting. The Tesla Bot consumes only 100 watts, and it'll consume 500 watts when moving. The AI-5 chips will have a lot of computational power reserved, to the point that Musk is considering using them for more distributed computing, opening up a new opportunity to make money. Of course, the increased utility and missions of Optimus Gen 3 means that its hands will almost certainly gain 22 degrees of freedom by year's end, as Musk has told us at least twice before. We do apologize for repeating this update about Optimus's new hands in multiple episodes, but we can't think of a more notable update that's worth talking about. You can't imagine how insane a humanoid robot with 22 degrees of freedom in its hands are going to be. As Elon said, it can play the piano, thread a needle, water plants, or perform a wide range of tasks that has never been done before. There are countless humanoid manufacturers from China and North America, but none dare to promise tasks for their robots simply because they're not Tesla. They don't have Tesla's technology, and they don't have the genius mind of Elon Musk. Think about it. Currently, with just 11 degrees of freedom in each hand, Tesla Bot can already perform delicate and precise movements like gripping eggs or battery cells, tasks that until now only humans could reliably perform. After all, everything for us is completely unthinking compared to the upcoming hands with 22 degrees of freedom that Optimus is soon going to have. And not only the hands, but with a number of degrees of freedom throughout the body, it'll also increase significantly, like in the neck, the legs, the hip. At least it can't sit down yet, right? In the recent Tesla shareholder, a share was made that also made everyone sway, and that was that Optimus could imitate actions through the videos it watched. At that time, we suddenly had the thought, what if we show it some action scenes? Would it immediately perform those action scenes in the real world with us? Just kidding. Surely everything is under control. And within Tesla's strategy, with its super premium AI and sensor platform, it is definitely smart enough to recognize and distinguish dangerous actions, as well as analyze objects that could cause damage. Tesla can also censor through software. With Optimus Gen 3, we think that the sensor system and deep learning will be significantly improved, allowing it to achieve a much better self-learning ability than our current Gen 2. Thanks for watching our video. If you found the content helpful and want to explore more exciting info about Tesla EVs, don't forget to hit the like button and share this video. Also, make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest videos. We appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you in the next video.